Hello, and here we gather together in the Dodge because the house is too overly crowded to make this video. And this video has to be recorded today because it is currently the 22nd of September, which means that death metal band Cannibal Corpse has officially released their 16th album, and it is entitled Chaos Horrific. And I pretty much already know what to expect from this album. Same thing with all of their other albums. It's mainly made specifically to be as out there as possible, I guess you could say, like as vile or horrific. Okay, so Chaos Horrific, that makes sense. They also released an album called Vile. I mean, wow. I mean, you couldn't explain it better. I mean, all you gotta do is look through their discography and just look at the titles of all of the albums, and that's basically what they try to do. They do exactly as they try to do, and so you really can't help but to respect them in terms of, you know, what they're trying to do. I mean, they are doing exactly what they are aiming to do, and so you got to respect them for that. And so, yeah, I've been excited for another Cannibal Corpse album. I think Cannibal Corpse is honestly one of the most, like, consistent death metal bands there is. I mean, they've been releasing consistently for decades now. I mean, with their first album, Eaten Back to Life, and then Violence Unimagined came out, I don't know, 2 years ago, something like that. And yeah, they really don't have a bad album. So I did recently do the Guts album by Olivia Rodrigo reaction and review. So this is definitely a change of pace, I would say. Yeah, I listen to all different types of music. And if you guys like these videos where I sit down, listen to an album or watch a movie and then review it afterwards, let me know, because these are actually quite fun. I do have other plans for some things like this in the future. Without any further hesitation, let's go into the first song on Chaos Horrific. It is called Overlords of Violence, which is, of course, Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, right, typical name for a Cannibal Corpse song. Oh, that's nice. Wow, okay. That's Cannibal Corpse, all right. Wow, I love this already. This is great. Great opener. That was aggressive, visceral, intense, and great. I mean, you could definitely tell that is in fact Cannibal Corpse, and it's great. I'm so happy that they're still doing this. There's really not anything I didn't like about that song. That was good. That was great. All right, so the next song is called Frenzied Feeding. Frenzied Feeding. So, like, what does that mean? Friends is like I know feeding, I've heard like feeding frenzy off of like Hungry Shark Evolution or Hungry Shark World, whichever one. It's Frenzied Feeding. Okay, so if you have the feeding frenzy, and then if you mix it around, then after that you get... Let's just listen to the song. Okay, Frenzied Feeding. Great, let's go. Oh, fuck yeah, this is great. So, at first I wasn't, like, so sure about that one, but then it really just turned into a headbanger, honestly. So, I don't know which one I like better out of the two so far. At first, I was starting to think, like, okay, Overlords of Violence is way better than this. But then, like, now, I mean, they're kind of tied. I mean, that one was really just... It had fast moments, it had slow moments, and of course, Corpse Grinder's vocals are top-notch, as they always are. Nothing really bad I had to say about that now that I'm done listening to it. So the next song, the third track, is Summoned for Sacrifice, which was released as a single. I've already heard it like 2 or 3 times, but, you know, since we're listening to this album in order, how it should go, I'm going to go ahead and give this another listen, so you won't see very much of the reaction on this one. Okay, so you could definitely tell that Summon for Sacrifice is... You could tell why it's a single. I mean, it honestly is I think so far this is my favorite song off of this album. And it is enjoyable to listen to all throughout the entire song. And not to mention, the music video for that song is fucking insane. I mean, it's just wild. It is insanely gory, very good special effects, and crazy, and I absolutely love it. And then the next song is also a single that I've already heard, not as much as Summon for Sacrifice, but I've heard it once or twice, called Blood Blind. Blood Blind. So yeah, heard this one too, but let's just listen to it anyway. Alright, so I definitely enjoy that one, but I don't really understand why it came out as a single exactly, because honestly, I think Overlords of Violence and Frenzied Feeding is actually better than Blood Blind. So I don't know. I mean, it's not bad, but it's good. I just I'm not too crazy about that one, and I don't necessarily see myself coming back to it a whole bunch of times. Anyway, so next song is Vengeful Invasion. So let's go. Okay, so I think that one was actually my favorite on the album so far. That was really, really heavy. That was really good. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, I think that is officially my favorite as of right now. So this is Cannibal Corpse, and I can't believe that they're still going at it this hard after 30 years, or not quite 30, but like several decades of time. And this was just released today. Like, this is modern. This is up there with some of my favorites, such as like The Bleeding or Tomb of the Mutilated or Butchered at Birth, you know? Like, this is some pretty good stuff here. Oh, okay. Okay, so this next song is actually the title track. So this next song is Chaos Horrific. Yes, great, wonderful. So that was a pretty solid title track. The beginning of that kind of reminded me of the song Scourge of Iron off of their 2012 record Torture. Yes, that was great. That brought back some memories from that album, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. There's really not a bad song on here so far. I think same thing as the last album that I listened to, Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. So far, the worst song on here is at the very least listenable. And I think that, honestly, that is kind of what I expected, though. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of Cannibal Corpse songs out there that I just hate. I mean, there's a couple that I could take or leave, but like that's the worst that it gets with them. So, honestly, so yeah, great song. Next song is Fracture and Refracture. Top-notch title. Whoa, okay. That ended really abruptly. That did not feel like 3.5 minutes. That felt really quick. Like, wow, okay. I'm really excited about the rest of this album. It's almost over. Like, honestly, like, as consistent as they are, I want more. Next, I don't know why that made me laugh, but the next song is called Pitchfork Impalement. So let's get it. Cool. Okay, that's cool. We get a little bit of a cappella from Corpse Grinder at the end of that song. I very much appreciate that. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. The next song is called What is that? Terrible reader. Pestilential Rictus. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. I have no idea what that even means. So I really do enjoy that long drawn out ending there. But that was not one of the higher points on this album. I did enjoy the song, but I do not see myself coming back to it a whole bunch of times unless I'm like giving the entire album another full listen again. So, you know, not a bad song, but not absolutely amazing, but I do think it's pretty damn good. Unfortunately, this is the last song on the album, and it is called Drain You Empty. So let's hope that this is a good closer and close this thing off with a bang, and then we'll talk about it. Awesome. Great. Okay. So that is the album. That was Chaos Horrific by Cannibal Corpse. So where do I begin? So first, I would like to say I did enjoy this album. I think it is a great death metal album. And I'm not going to say that they really outdid themselves, but they definitely didn't drop at all in their quality and in necessarily the enjoyment in me listening to their music. I do think this would be on the better half of their albums, and of course, I do not believe that they have any necessarily bad albums. I just think that there are some of their albums they put out that are better than others, and I think this is definitely on the better half, and I would almost, I think, go as far as to say that I enjoyed this a little bit more than Violence Unimagined, maybe. First, let's just talk about this album cover. I mean, I'm not too surprised by it. I mean, okay, Cannibal Corpse has come out with, like, way more gruesome album covers, but this thing is sick. I love this thing. This is cool. That is great. So, I have most of Cannibal Corpse's albums on CD. I do not have this one yet. I did pre-order it, so it should be coming very, very soon. But anyway, so yes, this album was definitely really gruesome. It was definitely really in your face. This album is definitely very gruesome in terms of lyrics, and it's very harsh. It's very heavy. It is very intense to listen to, but in a very fantastic way. But I do think that this album was pretty consistent all the way through, had an amazing closer, an amazing opener, some pretty good singles, and the rest of the songs, I mean, there's really, I don't see any filler songs on this, honestly. I think this is a very solid album from Cannibal Corpse. Their best? Probably not. Their worst? Definitely not. And yeah, in the end, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this album a decent to strong 8. I wonder what Anthony Fantano will think. I'm not sure. I think he'll enjoy it if he liked Violence Unimagined. If he gave that a 7, I believe he'll give this at least a 7. But yeah, I think I like this better than Violence Unimagined, and definitely a strong contender for one of my more favorite albums of this year. So yeah, if you haven't already, check it out. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my content. And if you like this video, give it a big old fat thumbs up. And I have my social medias in the description below. And that's pretty much it. See ya.